Progressive Alliance Movement is a non-political organization. We are not affiliated to any party. We are here to promote and push and also be the voice for the voiceless. Our mission is to promote Ghanaians living abroad and the motherland itself. Our vision as Progressive, or PAM, as we call ourselves for short, I said before, it's a non-political organization. We advocate for change in Ghana to benefit the citizen living abroad. That is the one reason why we have gathered here today for our annual forum, or the beginning of the year. You can also support us. We depend on donation from you all. At the end of the presentation from our chairman, Dr. Kofi Boateng, you will find the need that every nickel and dime to support Progressive Alliance Movement for Ghanaians living abroad to able to accomplish the mission that we are backing on, which is the ROPAA. You will really understand the reason why. I don't want to waste time or hold the microphone for too long. Please do me a favor, kindly mute yourself while I invited Dr. Kofi Boateng to do the opening, and we start. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We will give you opportunity from what he's about to state, or the information he's about to give us. You can pick one or two, ask question on based on that. We'll answer you, but please raise up your hand so we handle it. We are streaming live on the Key Mama Show YouTube page. Thank you very much. And don't forget to click on the PAM link YouTube also. We will stream it there. Thank you. Dr. Kofi Boateng.
Well, thank you, Catherine, and thank you all, my brothers and sisters, for joining us today. Thank you for coming all the way from Australia, Germany, Ghana, everywhere, to show that indeed what the objectives of Progressive Alliance Movement PAM are also important to you. So I noticed that there are quite a few new faces, but there are also members of the PAM board also online with us. So Kathy, if you don't mind to introduce them first and let them at least welcome people before we start. I see Nasiru is on and David is also on. Kathy?
Mr. Nasiru, can you please come on and unmute yourself and do your official introduction, Mr. Nasiru?
Hello, everyone. I'll start by saying Happy New Year, especially to my own father, Chairman. It's been so long. Brother David, happy to see you once again. So officially, my name is Nasir Ibrahim. Based in New Jersey. One of the pioneers of PAM and a board member. Basically, we've been championing this cause till now, hoping for a better outcome in future. Thank you very much.
I wish you would have seen your handsome face.
I'm trying. I could have done that, but I will be home in the next 2 minutes.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Kwame also just joined. Okay.
Please, can you unmute yourself and introduce yourself? He's one of the pillars. Mr. Kwame Fosu, can you please unmute yourself? Thank you. Introduce yourself to all of us.
I'm Kwame Fosu, a member of PAM, and I'm glad you are all there. Thank you for coming.
He's one of the founders. Thank you. Please mute yourself. Anybody else here that I haven't mentioned?
David Amano is here.
Mr. David, are you there? No, Mr. David Amano is not here yet. Doctor, please take over.
Okay. So again, thank you all. Let us set some issues of clarification on the table. First of all, when Catherine was talking, you heard her say Ghanaians living abroad, Ghanaians living abroad. You never heard her say diaspora. Why is that? It's very, very important that we make that distinction. Ghana government likes to use the word diaspora to lump all of us meaning Ghanaians, and also our brothers and sisters of historical connections to Africa, i.e. African Americans, African Caribbeans, all of us into diaspora. But it is not true, because when you call us diaspora, it allows the government to make us faceless and not identified, and make them think that we don't have any special needs that need to be attended to. And for that reason, I personally coined the expression Ghanaians living abroad to make us distinguished and distinctive from diaspora and stand out, just so that Ghanaians living in Ghana will know that we are all one. Whether you live in Ghana or you live abroad, if you can trace your heritage to Ghana, we are all one. And so that is very important. We never use diaspora on this platform. So that is that. Now, the other thing that we need to establish is that Progressive Alliance Movement, PAM, as Catherine was saying, is a non-profit organization with a sole purpose for advocating for Ghanaians living abroad's interests. Okay. One of which is now ROPAA, and we are going to talk about that today. And it is non-political, meaning that PAM does not support any one political party as an entity. It doesn't mean that all of you, including myself, don't have political affiliations and sympathies on our own personal basis. So when we come together, we are non-political. Of course, individually, we are all politically conscious and responsible. And so that is the meaning that we have to also establish here. So that brings me now to why ROPAA. For those of you just joining us, you know ROPAA stands for Representation of the People's Amendment Act. And what is that? This is a law that was passed in February 2006 when President Kufuor was president, to allow us, Ghanaians living abroad. Now, here is where you begin to see why it's important to stress, not diaspora, but Ghanaians living abroad, to vote in Ghana's elections. And we'll come back to this important distinctions. That was 2006 when this law was passed, right? So nearly what? We are now 2024 when this law was passed. And we've had elections 2008, right after the law was passed. We had election 2012 when the law was passed. We have election 2016, 2024 elections, general elections have come and gone, and ROPAA has not been implemented, even though Act 699 is saying that Ghanaians living abroad can vote. 18 years later, it is not happening. It is not happening. And so what did PAM do about it? Well, back in 2017, PAM took the government represented by the Electoral Commission and the Attorney General to court to compel the EC to implement ROPAA beginning 2020. We won the case. The High Court judge found that the Electoral Commission specifically had been deliberate, and we'll come back to the word deliberate, in denying us our franchise. And that is very, very significant, because we estimate that there are at least 3 million Ghanaians living outside Ghana. If we were a constituency, would be larger than any other region except perhaps for Greater Accra and Ashanti. And for the government to ignore this large constituency is something very, very serious. And on top of that, you've all heard that Ghanaians living abroad remit more than $5 billion to Ghana each year. And I say more than because by the government's own admission and their statistics, they record something like 4.5 billion. And we know that what they record is what goes through official channels, Western Union, money remittance companies, banks, and so on. All the monies that go through airplanes, Fakomami, take this to that are not even included. And the United Nations estimates that for every dollar of remittance that can be traced through the formal channels, you should add at least 2.5 to 3 times. So that means that we are remitting at least $10 billion to Ghana each year, and we are ignored. Recently, on January 12th, I wrote an article that was published in a few places, Amandla being one of them, and Modern Ghana is another. And where I was saying that the government is playing a game of ignore. They are simply ignoring us. They're ignoring us, and I'll show you something. The invitation that you got said 2 things. It said there will be a representative from the National Identification Authority, NIA, specifically a secretary, Mr. Atifa, Professor Atifa, to be with us. Professor Atifa, are you on? Is anybody from NIA on? Anybody? Silence. And then there was also supposed to be a representative from the Electoral Commission. Is anybody here from the representing Ghana's Electoral Commission? Anybody? Silence. So the silence that we just recorded is showing you that officially the Ghana government, represented by its Electoral Commission and the National Institute Identification Authority, have chosen to ignore us, ignore 3 million Ghanaians living abroad, remitting $10 billion a year. How important is $10 billion a year? We've just learned that Ghana earned something like $1.4 billion from oil. After all that people talk about oil, we change the fortunes of Ghana. 1.4 billion, and that was 2022. 2023 went down to 1 billion. They lost $400 million. That's oil, 1 billion. Cocoa, 2 billion. Gold, 2 billion. So you have, even when you add cocoa, gold, and oil, it is equal to 5 billion, nowhere near the amount of money that we sent. The government recently borrowed $3 billion, as you've all read, from the IMF. And if the government was engaged with us, Ghanaians living abroad could come up with this money easily without the country overloading itself with debt. So our government is not being strategic and frankly not being smart in engaging us. And why do they ignore? I'm cutting right to the chase, okay? In your questions, you can ask me about history and so on. We can answer that. But today, we are very, very serious because we cannot invite representatives of EC, write an official letter to Jean Mensah, the EC chair, and also a letter to her deputy, Dr. Bosman Sari, and be ignored. The same way, not even a response from the EC chairman, Jean Mensah, not the courtesy of a response. We cannot write to Professor Kenneth Atifa, talk to them. I was in Ghana, talk to them, and also be ignored, not even the decency of saying we can or cannot come. Folks, there's only one interpretation. They do not have any intention of implementing ROPAA, at least not for 2024. That is why they are not here. We have to, this is now a call to arms. We have to take it up ourselves and we have to fight. We have to fight. It is a very, very serious situation where a government, a whole government, through its entities, can ignore 3 million of its people who send them more money than they get from gold, cocoa, and oil. So I'm going to pause here and let you all chime in, make your contributions, ask questions, and we'll continue like that. And also have Kathy. Kathy was with me when we went to visit Dr. Bossman, the EC deputy chair, and started to tell him about this forum that we were planning to have. So she is my witness. So Catherine, back to you.
Thank you all very much. What doctor said, or it's true. We were in Ghana. We sat with the deputy bossman Asari, and I asked him twice. I said, "Are you sure that you will join the forum?" He said, "No problem." So myself, I'm very disappointed. And like doctor said, this time, I think we'll be going back to court again. And we are counting on you. Please, I'll allow you this moment if you have any question to ask doctor or myself and see how best we can answer you. This forum is for us. Now we know that they don't care about Ghanaians living abroad to vote, but they will rather come to us and solicit money from us. The ball is in your court. What's your question?
Please
Hi,
raise your hand so you can be
Raise your
recognized.
hand, please.
Unfortunately, I'm driving and you guys cannot see me. And if maybe it's okay for me to ask my question.
Go ahead, David.
Go ahead.
First of all,
First of
introduce
all,
yourself as a member of the
yeah,
board.
David Amano here, please. It's been a while, my brothers and sisters. Thank you all for your hard work. Dr. Kofi Boateng, Sister Catherine, and all the others. I'm here in Orlando, Florida, a Ghanaian, and as we all know, it's been a while now. I think we should all know that by now, from day one, we should know that the government of Ghana, either it being NDC or NPP, is just playing games with us. We are the citizens of Ghana, and what seems to not go our way, every way we can force our way to have our right, we have to, because this is not like we are trying to do something illegal. This is 100%. A Ghanaian living abroad must have a right to vote because our government supervises elections abroad and they make sure that other countries or their citizens living out in another country are able to vote. And if our government knows very well that this is the right thing to do, and over 4 elections and they are still not doing it, we should know by now that they are just simply not interested in doing that, either in NDC or NPP. So we have to force our way. We have the tools here. We live in the United States of America. If we take our case to the US government or whoever is in charge of international affairs of elections, I don't know who should do this, but if we said we'll find it. Let us not waste our time anymore waiting for these folks to come to us. They will never, ever do it, as you can all see. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, please, if you can raise your hand if you have a question. Mr. Atames from Sweden. Yes, okay. Please unmute yourself. Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Madam Catherine and Dr. Kofi Boateng or something. Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and I've been listening to you and listening to him as well. I have very simple question for ourselves, those of us who live in abroad. Yes, Dr. Kofi Boateng has made a very nice presentation how much we contribute into the economy of Ghana. Yes, we contribute so much than what he said. Those who take care of cousins, nephews, and nieces and other things. But the question here is, honestly, is the Ghana government ready to, continue with this ROPAA elections in abroad or something like that? I think we are not ready as a country, because taking Ghana as a law, they are not even properly supervise the elections in Ghana. And for me, looking at Sweden, it's 2 times than Ghana. We have a Swedish Ghanaians. Many of Ghanaians living here are living in a different location. We have three major cities here. How will even electoral commission supervise elections here or organize elections in Sweden? Taking America, for instance, this is a huge country. How will electoral commission organize elections, and who are going to be the how they call it, the supervisors? This including all the countries. So for me personally, I don't know if actually the government of Ghana is even ready to do this, and it costs so much money to organize such elections in Europe. Going back, in our generation, at least we are about third generation now, as those of us on the platform now. And if any of you are over 60, meaning that it's about third generation. Since independence, going to the various villages in Ghana, looking at their infrastructure, road infrastructure, school system. These are things we need the money to fix them. So, for my opinion, I'm thinking that, well, the idea of Ghanaians living abroad to elect their vote to elect a president, it's much important. And at the same time, Ghanaians go to the they go to election to elect a president, and then they are member of parliament. Who is going to represent us in the parliament? How will our voice be heard, even if we have the opportunity to elect a president of Ghana? I think we are going through so much difficulties here as Ghanaians. Many of us came to Europe or US to study or to hustling or whichever way we came. And unlucky or unfortunate or fortunate for us, we have our families. Some of them are American citizens, British citizens. Going back even to your country with your children, if you have a case of about a family of 5, you need to spend over 1,500 or something on visa alone, because from here in Scandinavian to acquiring a Ghanaian visa to Ghana, you need to spend about $150 or something on that, if I'm so sure about it. So a family with a 5, these are things, the important things we need to engage the government to fix. We need to fix our own problem since we are Ghanaians. Yes, if internationally they are charging people who travel to Ghana for business or whatever it is for $150 or $100, what about Ghanaians, especially those of us who have a real Ghana name? Is there any assumption that you come home? Because when you go home with 5,000, it's another capital for Ghana. So come home with about a visa cost of about $20 or something. These are things we need to prepare ourselves and see how could our voice heard. 3 million people, as he said, it's a huge constituency. And we are only interested to elect a president, but we are not talking about our MPs. So I think we need to.
Yeah, Atta, if you pause, I think you've made. We will answer all your questions, but I want to give a chance to others also. David has his hands up, then we'll put them all together.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Ankara. Mr. Deviankro, unmute yourself.
Yeah, you are muted.
Okay. Good evening, all, Doctor and Madam Catherine. It's my first time here. I saw it on one of the platforms, and I decided to come in and then listen.
Thank you.
Yeah, like my brother just said, I think there are quite a few important things that we should also be focusing on. Like you said, we don't have a member of parliament, and that is where they take the decisions. And one thing I want to bring to your notice, somewhere last year, around I think October, November, there was a forum here by the UGAG, Union of Ghana Association or whatever, here in Germany. I live in Germany, and the deputy foreign affairs minister was here. So I asked the question directly about ROPAA. And he said he is not sure ROPAA is going to come on. So I asked why. And he said if MPP try to implement NDC, fight against it. If NDC start to want to implement it, MPP fights against it. So the issue of ROPAA is not going to be today or tomorrow. He said it, I recorded it. Yeah. So I think if we really want ROPAA, like you said, you've been to the courts and things, I think we would need a concerted effort to really fight this issue. Because I don't think both parties, I don't know, but I think we need to really have a concerted effort to fight this. Thank you very much.
Okay, very good. Anybody else before we answer the issues? Okay, let's start. Let me start with where David ended, saying that he had a chat with the Deputy Foreign Affairs Minister, and he said ROPAA will not be implemented because neither of the two big political parties, NPP and DC, wants to see it implemented. That is a fact, okay? And that is the only one reason why ROPAA has not been implemented for 18 years. Okay, going on 20. Now, Mr. Atamensan was asking questions about cost. And David's answer tells you that it has nothing to do with cost, nothing at all. Nobody has ever said, oh, we shouldn't and we can't implement because we don't have the money. They don't say that because, and here is a fact that you all should know. All of Ghana's elections, at least 60% of it are borne by contributions from outside. So Ghana government doesn't even pay 100% of its electoral expenditures. They are supported from outside. But now let's get back to David's issue about the selfish interests of the major two political parties. You know, why are they resistant? They are resisting for their selfish interests. Right now, MPP is in power. MPP does not want to see ROPAA implemented. Why? Because MPP is afraid, and we're going to tell it like it is. At least they are thinking that NDC will just unload hundreds and thousands of people from Togo because they all speak the same Ewe and register them as Ghanaians and vote against MPP. So MPP says, no, we will not implement ROPAA because it's not in our interest. Now, I guess let's pass the words. We will not implement ROPAA because it's not in our interest. We are talking about human rights. You will not say that you will not implement a law that is against murder because it's not in your interest because you want somebody killed. It doesn't happen anywhere like that. Nobody makes a law or prevent a law from being implemented because it's not in your interest. A law is a law. Ghana prides itself on being a democracy. Ghana prides itself on being a country of laws. Then why did you make the ROPAA law in the first place? Why did you pass access? Nobody forced them. They passed it. So that is nonsensical. Now, on the MPP side or the NDC side, and the NDC doesn't want to see ROPAA implemented because they are afraid all of you guys living in Europe and the US, majority of you are MPP sympathizers according to them, and so will vote for MPP, and so MPP will lose. Guess what? When you say MPP or NDC wins or loses, who are you really talking about? You are talking about 275 MPs and a president and a few people. In fact, if you count, you come up with less than 1,000 individuals who are actually benefiting directly from whether their party wins or loses. So we are willing to allow the interests of 1,000 people to override the human rights of 3 million, and we accept it as, oh, we also agree that it cannot be done and it's not going to be done because it will be a problem. No. Let us expose them. This is what I mean by for their selfish. And on the other hand, if you implement ROPAA, guess what? I think Atta was referring to generations. It wouldn't be only those of us first generation Ghanaians on this platform voting. We will be telling our children about, because our children are also Ghanaians. They also have the right to vote. It extends to them. And they will also vote. And they will tell their children, and it continues. The same way that in the United States, every American outside the US votes. It's not the original people who were there when the Constitution was drafted. It is their children's 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 children. And guess what? When our children and their children get involved and vote, they are all of a sudden interested in Ghana. Right now, most of them are tuned out. But when you vote, you are interested, you follow the issues going on because you have to decide who you are going to vote for. They visit more and they bring more foreign exchange, they bring their friends. Ghana benefits more and more and more beyond 1,000 or less people who benefit directly from not implementing ROPAA. So that is nonsense for us to allow two political parties to deny us our franchise. Because after all, Ghana does not belong to MPP. Ghana does not belong to NDC. Ghana belongs to Ghanaians, whether they live in Ghana or live abroad. When things are bad in Ghana, we all suffer because it means we all have to dip more into our pockets to support our families. Now, I think that covers a lot, but somebody, Mr. Atamensa, talked about the logistics. Oh, how are we going to be able to cover so much territory? Guess what? They have more than 22,000 polling stations in Ghana. They cover them. The Electoral Commission has experience in covering territories. That's no argument. Besides, here's something for you. We are not talking about something that Ghana is going to be the first country to implement. Just in Africa, there are at least 25 countries. David Amano alluded to that. At least 25 countries that have overseas voting. And they all have the same, and most of them are much poorer than Ghana. Niger, Liberia, South Sudan. These are countries much poorer. Senegal, Namibia, South Africa. A lot of them are much poorer than Ghana, but they have been given their country, Cape Verde, that beat Ghana at the Africa Soccer Games. They have their overseas voting going on for years. Senegal, another one. Morocco, another one. So if all these countries that I have been naming, including new ones, are doing it, what in the world is Ghana's excuse? Because our excuse is selfishness. It is not about expanding the base. It is not about including the Ghana voters. It is not about giving franchise. It is about cheating. What do they do with logistics with the Senegalese voting? We've studied this. In Senegal, they are very experienced in doing overseas voting for more than 30 years. The way they do it is everywhere in the world where there are more than 500 Senegalese citizens is considered a polling station. And the Senegalese citizens themselves, it doesn't cost the government much, elect their own returning officers, observers, because every party has people everywhere. We know that. All of you on this platform, those of you who are MPP, you know yourself. Those of you who are NDC, you know yourself. Those of you who are Afro-Franto even, you know yourselves. CPP, you know yourselves. So when there is an election, it is easy to have every party bring its own representative to observe. And these days with text and cell phones, it's easy to count openly, record it, and send everything, the video, the result, instantly to Ghana. This will be the cleanest election, more than even in Ghana. In a matter of hours, we will know what the overseas votes are. They can even let us vote before the Ghana one. Just like they let the army going on whatever expeditions do. So if Senegal has a platform for doing it for all over the world, why can't Ghana? And then another excuse that they give is this, that, well, what if we implement ROPAA and then say NPP has won, and then the overseas votes are counted and it changes it to make it NDC win? So what? We are all Ghanaians. And I asked them, so what if you count the elections and NDC has won? And then you count Ashanti region and it turns it to NPP. Do you say, no, we are going to vote all over again? You accept that. So what is different? And frankly, in Cape Verde, about 10 years ago, the exact same thing happened. They voted and domestically one candidate won. Then they counted Cape Verdeans living abroad votes and they flipped to the other candidate. And they accepted it. No problem. Cape Verde is a country that per capita remains the highest to their country, and they appreciate that more than satisfying one or two people. And Ghana has to get there. Dr. JB Na from Germany.
Hey, Doc, before we ask Doctor to come on, also Mr. Atamenson stated that, oh, what about if all this is done? How can our voice heard at Parliament?
Let's answer that. Yes,
Okay.
let's answer that. Okay, so number one, we are voting in the presidential to start. I'm not saying that will be forever, because the presidential, the whole country, and including all of Ghana, are considered one constituency. There are no 275 constituencies. So we are voting that, and we've accepted that at least for the first time, we'll do only the presidential. Okay, so the president will be accountable to us and will be accountable to the president. But going forward, again, I use Senegal as an example. Senegal started focusing on the presidential, and as they went forward, they gave seats. They started with 1. Now they're up to 20 seats in their parliament for Senegalese living abroad. And they vote and pick their own representatives. So it is an evolutionary process, but you have to start. Ghana, we give so many excuses why we don't even want to start. When Ghana's Electoral Commission, as David Amano said, supervises elections abroad for Niger, Chad, Burkina Faso, in Ghana, Namibia, South Africa, they don't bring people. Ghana's Electoral Commission supervises those elections for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Na, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. Good evening to everybody. I must say that I want to say I saw this flyer on other platforms and I decided to join into to see what is being discussed, and particularly on the topic that was the catchy part, which is about getting your Ghana card and voting in 2024 from abroad, issues and then updates. And I've been listening to submissions by the CEO, Key Mama, and my senior, Dr. Boateng, and other speakers. I do agree to most of the things, but I have some 3 issues. But the question I want to ask, which I would like you to, especially the conveners of this meeting, is that, do you think it's feasible that Ghana will be able to, in a way, bring in the issue of ROPAA in this upcoming 2024 general elections? I'm asking that because let me link it to what Mr. Manson said, because we should not lose sight of the fact that there are serious bottlenecks with respect to our electoral system in Ghana. And I have done my PhD in ethnoecology in terms of local knowledge. And at times you have to look at context-specific issues, because as Dr. Boateng said, countries, especially in even mature democracies, have been able to do this for a very long time. And our neighbors or our brothers, sister countries in Africa have been able to do it. But I think that we should bring our understanding to Ghana, because I feel that the Electoral Commission, which is supposed to be the referee, is a very critical element to look at. If you look at the political parties, as Dr. Boateng said, there is this clear mistrust. The NDC does not trust the NPP when they are in power, and the NPP does not trust the NDC when they are in power. So as it is now, I feel that we should not lose sight of the bottlenecks. And as a result of that, we have to be very practical. If we say that they must listen to us, is it really feasible? That is the question I have. And I must thank those of you who have the convenience of this platform, because I'm staying in Germany, and those of us who are there, I counted about 17 of us, but now others have joined. And I think that the number that Doug gave, is true. We are over, even over 3 million Ghanaians who are living here. So I think that is key. And what my main question is the feasibility of what we are asking for.
Okay, let's get right to feasibility.
Yes,
well,
thank you.
First of all, remember that this law was passed in 2006. Okay, so whatever it takes to do it, the Electoral Commission has had plenty of time to start with a pilot, perfect it, and improve it, just like everybody did. Okay, so we should not, in any context, make excuses for them. We've passed that. We've passed excuses. If we were talking in 2008, then we could make this argument that, feasibility experience, so maybe we should start small and grow it. We've passed that. Because if you refuse to do something when you've been given the chance, and the years pass and pass and pass and pass, you cannot yourself raise the question of, oh, Your Honor, I need more time. More time to do what? You have had 18 years. And when we went to court in 2017, the judge asked that question. He said, you have had more 13 years. And what do you need more time for? To do what? Okay, so that question is out. Okay, today we are telling like it is. Now, you raise the question of whether Ghana is different from everybody. Ethno, you mentioned your PhD is in ethno-economics, and we should listen to our own content. Guess what? In 2020, the Electoral Commission, this is before COVID, the Electoral Commission itself formed a ROPAA implementation committee in its own environment. And that committee that was headed by Bosman Asare, Dr. Bosman Asare, went around Ghana. Some of you may remember. They went around Ghana to elicit the input of Ghanaians in Ghana. Talk about ethnoeconomics. They elicited the input of Ghanaians in Ghana, whether Ghana was ripe for implementing ROPAA. And the answer, the overwhelming answer they got was yes. Yes, 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 because ROPAA benefits us. Our people give us money, they support us, so extend the voting right to them. And after they got that overwhelming yes in Ghana, then they came to the US and PAM hosted them. I have Key Mama, David, Kwame Fusu, David Amano here, Nasil, they are all witnesses. We all work together to host them in the US. And then they had gone to Senegal to learn how the Senegalese do it. So I'm telling you all this to let you know that but for COVID, ROPAA would have been implemented in 2020. That's a fact, right, Key Mama? But for COVID came and they used it as an excuse. Oh, because of COVID, we know we don't. And then we took a stand. You guys in Germany, you should know this. We talk about extending the voting franchise to 3 million people. But since Kwame Nkrumah, Ghanaians who work in Ghana missions have been voting. A small number of us have been voting. Ghanaians who work in. For 2020, we stopped that. PAM stopped that and said, if we all don't vote, they don't vote. And we still maintain that position. The ambassador to Germany will not vote. The ambassador to the US will not vote if we don't vote. Okay? So once again, to show you the context, the Electoral Commission has done its own homework in Ghana to get the consent for exactly the point that you want to make, to get the consent of Ghanaians that yes, ROPAA is a good thing, go ahead and implement it. Have I answered that? And then you said something about what caught your attention was the national ID. Now, let's talk about, I'm going to talk about two things here that are takeaways for you. One is the national ID, the other one is Ghana passport. Because Mr. Atta Mensah was talking about the cost of getting visas for his 26 children when he takes, and grandchildren when he takes them all to Ghana. Okay. The good news is, thanks to the work of PAM and some of our friends, as of right now, anybody, this again while we distinguish Ghanaians living abroad, any Ghanaian living abroad, any, regardless of the passport that you hold, German, American, whatever, Chinese, can apply for Ghana passport. That's a fact. The Ghana government doesn't advertise it. Why? Because they get money from Atta Mensah every time he goes to apply for a visa for his children. But Mr. Mensah, so long as you and your children can trace grandparent of, you only need to prove that at least one of your grandparents is from Ghana, you're entitled to apply for a Ghana passport. So I encourage you all, if you haven't done that, to do that immediately. They will not even ask you about your local citizenship because the courts have ruled in Ghana and that one is implemented. So that shows you that we have to fight for things to be implemented. That has been implemented. National identification. Well, you saw in the flyers that you got that we had invited Professor Tifa to be here. He is the leader of the Ghana National Identification Authority. He isn't. But why did we invite him? Because some of you may have heard repeatedly that the NIA was coming abroad to register all of us to give us our national IDs. And they said that for Ghana, when you apply, you get it for free. Here they said they were going to make us pay the equivalent of about $50. We said, fine. Somebody, if you want to talk about cost, this is where they can make lots of money. Not only for the election, but to finance even the NIA itself that is broke. And they are not doing it. He's not here. He didn't send anybody. So we should not make any excuses for anybody. And that is our point.
Thank you, Doctor. I see a hand up, Samsung SM.
Host, can I, if you don't, host,
yes.
if you don't mind, excuse
Good
me.
afternoon,
Who's
everyone.
speaking now, please?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Na. If you don't mind, I really will leave for another Zoom in less than an hour. So I just want to say this so that after which I'll get off the Zoom. I do agree perfectly with what Dr. Boateng said, but I have a suggestion and also to indicate that yes, in all that we have, in a question which is rhetorical, in all the problems that we have diagnosed or the challenges that we have diagnosed, who do we put the blame on? Is it the Electoral Commission? Is it the political parties? Is it the diasporans? So I think that that is where we have to diagnose the problem. When the problem is diagnosed, it is halfway solved. So I think this is a discussion point, and I think the PAM platform that we have done is a very good starting point. But I think that let us diagnose the problem. They are saying all kinds of things, and Doc and I and many of us, we are researchers. And I think that a paper could also be produced. That's where my suggestion comes in, so that we are.
Let me answer before you go, Dr. Na.
Because I don't have time. I just want to.
That's okay, but
thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I'm off for now, but thank you very much.
Stay for your answer.
Let's hear your response.
Yes, here.
Okay, thank you.
The answer to your question, where is the blame, is all of the above. Okay, Pam has advertised this forum. We should have at least 100 people, at least here. They are not here. I mean, we can blame the folks in Ghana, but we should also take the blame. We should be interested in our own cause. We should fund and pay for our own cause.
Okay.
The blame is also with the president. Recently, for those of you who saw it, my recent article, I said, Mr. President and EC implement PAM. That was the title. After every Ghanaian president since we started with Kufuor, I have talked to, engaged directly on ROPAA. Another forum, I can share you their responses, because the EC takes its cue. The MPs take their cue from the president. Okay, so if the president doesn't wave the white flag to say, go ahead and do it, it is not getting done. And that is the sad truth. The same people who will go and sign off on IMF loans are the same people who would not work with us to get free money.
Okay.
And I don't have to get
Thank you very much.
Okay, so it's all of the above. So you can go now, but get your Ghana passport if you don't have it already. Dr.
Thanks very much. Okay, bye-bye.
Mr. Samsung.
Yes. Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
My name is Florence.
My hand is off. My hand is up again.
Who, Mr. Mensah, you wait for now. So those who haven't spoken will do that.
Yes. What I want to say is that even if South Sudan would allow his people to vote, shame on Ghana.
Yes.
It's so sad. Ghana is calling themselves republic and also democracy rule. It's so sad. It's so shameful. So we need to fight whichever way we need to fight. Count me in. Wherever I have to help, I will stand up and fight with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Please, your name again?
My name is Florence Jackson.
Please, after that, I will put my name so we can talk. Thank you.
Key Mama, I know you very well.
Are you in New York? Florence?
Yes, I know you very well. Yeah, I'm part of Ghanaian American Heritage in Brooklyn.
Excellent.
Oh, okay.
I'm with Jerry, Kansas.
Oh, Jerry.
Oh,
okay. So you know me.
Yeah, very, very well.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I get it now. Nasiru, please let your voice be heard.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Kiwama.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for picking me up. Now, Doctor, I've been waiting patiently to kind of ask this question about. So, as usual, I feel like we have so much intellectuals here trying to deal with people that do not believe in they do not believe in civil stuff, because for all these years that we've been following this ROPAA issue, we've been following for quite some time now. We've been going to court and all this, and as we know, we've all concluded that NDC and MPP will not do anything about it for their selfish reasons. I think it's about time we hit politicians where it hurts.
Unmute yourself. Okay. Go ahead.
This same NDC and MPPs will come to America, they will go to Europe, everywhere to make money for their campaigns. And they have donors among us, maybe that contribute to the various political parties. If there's a way, we so-called Ghanaians abroad can find a way to hit them where it hurts. All politicians' money is their lifeline. If we can hit them where it hurts, or at least get a guarantee from some of these presidential aspirants to guarantee that in their term they're going to make it work. If not, we should hold them liable for something. If not, I think, yes, the court will side with us because it's our constitutional right. The court will definitely side with us. But if the government in power and the EC refuse to implement it, I don't think it's about time we make our words become action. Because we witness the politics they're doing in Ghana. They're not playing this intellectual politics like having civil conversations like we have in here. It's crazy out there.
Okay.
So it's about time.
Yeah, I got you. Actually, I have personally started to do that. I've started to get all the current aspirants to commit to implementing ROPAA, and I was pleased with one of them, I wouldn't name, who in their last presentation on TV said that his government is going to include all Ghanaians, including those living abroad. And so we're working on, but I'll take what you said one step even further. Remember what I said, that about 60% of Ghana's election costs are borne by donations from outside. That's where we should, and Pam, we've talked about this, but now we are going to do it.
Yeah.
That's where we are going to get them. We are going to go research and find precisely which agencies, and we are going to write letters to them. I wrote articles. Look, I'll tell you how bad things are. Recently, I told you just January 12th, I wrote a beautiful article. Not because I wrote it, I'm saying it's beautiful, but people who read it said it's great. Ghana Web did not publish it because Ghana Web is now owned by one of the big names in MPP. They did not publish my article. I even gave it to our lawyer, Samson Anyenini, to try if he could get the Ghana newspapers to cut. They did not. He got some low-grade entity to put it on their online somewhere. This is what we are fighting. So fine. If that's the way they want it, they will get it. We are going to do our research. We are going to expose Ghana that despite what Nasi was referred, I think that our sister said Ghana goes about boasting as the poster child of democracy. We are going to expose them that it's a sham. And so they should discontinue funding Ghana. And then we'll see.
Okay. Thank you. Ajekwe Ajay, did I pronounce your name right? Kindly unmute yourself. Let's try to make it short. We are going to leave in the next 45 minutes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, my name is Ajekwe Ajay. I'm from Italy. I just want to make, I'm on transit, and so there could be some noise in the background. I'm at a train station. I just want to make a contribution. Regarding a point that has been raised by one of the comrades over here about the logistics with the elections. I just want to draw attention, the committee attention that I have been contacted by the Senegalese because hopefully they will be renew their election this year. I mean this month, and I've been called upon to become an observer. And basically, over here in Italy, they have an arrangement with the municipal system, the electoral, the Italy municipality, whereby they're going to use the electoral structures of the municipal, such as their police stations, voting booths, and also where necessary, the police station, they have to designate one of the municipality that they want. A number of, let's say, around 500 Senegalese can constitute a polling area. And if possible, and they want a police surveillance to ensure that there is stability, they will make it available to them. And even if necessary, and they may need their assistance also for the transmission, they will guide them. So I've been contacted by the parliamentarian of the Senegal parliamentarian of the Northern Italy, who has been my friend. And he invited me that they are going to, extend their invitation to me as an observer. So just like it has been said, the Senegal model, and like Doc has said, Dr. Watching has said, and Mamali Kimama, we are not the first country that we are going to introduce this thing. So there are best practices around. Therefore, this is only my contribution. And if I happen to be there, I will take some shot and photograph and even video to put it on the ROPAA platform where I'm also a member over there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Adekwe, please do. And Catherine, get all his contact information. Very.
My number is on the 929 number. You can also WhatsApp me.
Yeah, please do, Adekwe. Stay in touch. We need that solid evidence. And you have validated everything that we have said and have been saying. Everything. Look at that. Adekwe is a Ghanaian. He's not even Senegalese. And he's been invited to be an observer. I'm just pointing out the point. And Atamensa, you started with logistics. Look at what he's talking about. 500 Senegalese constitute a constituency, a polling station. And they have partnered with the local municipality to give them the logistics. Okay? And most importantly, the Senegalese MP representing Northern Italy, meaning representing Senegal, one of the 15 or 20 representing Senegalese abroad, living abroad, is engaging him. What more can be more beautiful than this? The same way that Ghana's EC supervises elections outside, our brother Ajekwe is being invited to be an observer. Please since it's only this month, take pictures, talk to people, documents that you get, send them to Key Mama so we can use with our own arguments with everybody. Thank you very, very much. That is.
Mr. Gilbert, please unmute yourself and tell us your location. Mr. Gilbert.
Abasimi.
Yes, Gilbert Abasimi.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, I wanted to contribute something, a little addition to my comrade, my friend Ajekwe, who has just spoken.
Are you also in Italy, Gilbert?
Please unmute yourself.
Contribution is.
Are you also in Italy, Gilbert?
Yes, of course. I'm in Italy. Sorry,
okay.
I didn't say. Yeah. Sometimes when we are talking about the ROPAA, they come out. They come out to raise.
Oh, we lost him.
Somebody who is at my gate, so I want to wait. So I try to reason out, is it the problem of cost effectiveness that, is it because of cost effectiveness that they are not able to give us the opportunity to vote? And if so, what economic or financial responsibilities can we, the Ghanaian diaspora, assist in this area to make sure that we have this right and enfranchise it? The right is there, but we cannot enfranchise it as it has already been explained. So I look at this in this way. Can we have a sort of quota of contribution geared towards fastly implementing this exercise? Because yes, sea highs have come. Yes, it has been explained. Some of the political parties are bouncing it because they think of there may be an advantage or one or the other. Sometimes they just try to wash it off by saying that no, we are not contributing to the taxes to Ghana, and therefore we don't have rights. But that one,
I think, and it's time for me to leave. I will just take this opportunity to thank you very much for addressing the participants. And if I had an opportunity, maybe I would have said something else. But I think we have more time. If I can just leave my contact, and then if anything,
please
I can
do. Please do, Mr. Mensah.
Yeah.
Please. Kakra.
Yeah.
Jama and why that's it.
And Timaminya Mamona, yeah, the understanding was completely different from US and the Italy and all that. So, but I believe one day we will call ourselves, we have a country.
We will.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you very much for.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Anybody else?
No, so Gilbert didn't finish.
Oh, okay, Mr.
Yes. So if we want to show something concrete as a form of help to either the Electoral Commission or the Ghana government per se, in terms of financial and economic contribution towards getting the elections, we can try to create, if not possible by law, a sort of tax or contribution. We can make it a voluntary contribution. Then we see where we get to, so that it can elevate this issue of costs involved in implementing the law. Already my colleague, my friend in Italy said that most of the activities have been taken care of by the Senegalese themselves, who are residing in Italy and who have grouped themselves into recognizable associations. So we in Ghana, we the Ghanaians living in Italy too. We in Italy, we are capable of, we have recognized groups, Ghanaian groups, who are capable of assisting in logistical arrangements towards the decision, provided that, like my friend said, there is a conventional agreement with the Italian government or the Italian local administration or both. So this is what I wanted to contribute.
Let's answer you, Gilbert. Yeah. So first of all, in Ghana, by law, and in every country for that matter, you don't need to pay to vote. That's against the law. Years ago in the US, when they didn't want Black people to vote, they had things like you have to pass a test, you have to have a certain income, and all of those things were designed just to deny others the right to vote. And over time, they saw through all that, and country just abolished that. In Ghana, nobody has to pay a penny to vote. It's a right, and that's the same thing here. Having said that, we have been cognizant that, yes, there will be cost to bear. And so through the national ID system, it's a mechanism for Ghana to raise some money. They have said they will charge us $50. We said fine. Even $100, people will pay. But they are not doing it. Even when you offer to pay, they still don't do it. There's nobody here from the National ID Authority where we have agreed, yes, just come, give us the cash, we'll pay. Ghana is Ghana, whether we pay it through NIA or whatever, the money goes to Ghana. And even that they are not doing. So clearly, cost is not even the issue. We've said it, I don't know whether you were here, that the issue is selfishness of the political leaders. That's it. David?
Good. Thank you very much again for the second chance to speak. As we are all here, my brothers and sisters, we all know what is at stake right now. Do Ghanaians living abroad really want to vote in elections in Ghana? We all know that is 100% yes. We all know that our politicians do not want us to vote. So we have all the tools in our hand on the international level to freeze them from having elections in Ghana. You see, the cat and mouse game has been going on for years. They know that we are not able to do anything. But right now, if we do something to freeze them from having elections in Ghana, then they will take us serious. With that, we have to stop this talking and having meetings back and forth.
David, thank you very, very much. I want to add to what David just said. Earlier on, we talked about hitting them where it counts by getting to the donor countries. What David just said speaks to another very important tool that is available to us. We can and should file an injunction on the 2024 elections. It's going to cost money because we have to hire a lawyer. We do have a lawyer, but we have to pay him to take this case to the court, to put on it. We will talk to the lawyer to let us know about when will be the appropriate time to file it, but it will be a simple thing. Since the Electoral Commission has been ordained by the court to implement ROPAA, and they didn't even show up. Today, Kathy and I had a conversation. Kathy was saying, oh, Doc, maybe we should reschedule or cancel our meeting because they are not showing. I said, no, let us continue, because if they don't show up, we use it as evidence. We have our letters of inviting them. We have the flyers. And if they don't show up, we don't have a better evidence that they don't intend to implement ROPAA than this. So with that, we can, next stop is our lawyer to say, look, this is what we are considering. And frankly, I have already broached that subject to him already and said, we've had this meeting. We have people from Italy, Germany, everywhere else. And this is where we all want to go. Either Ghanaians living abroad vote with our Ghanaians living in Ghana, or nobody votes for 2024. Are you all agreement with that? Because if you are, we are going to come to you to contribute.
I'm
to pay
100%
for it.
agreement with that.
Okay, let's hear from the rest of you.
I agree.
Mama, make sure.
I agree,
everybody-
100%. I agree, 100%.
Okay.
I talked to Dr. Jan when he was there. We went as a delegation from Europe to Dr. Jan, and he was promising us before 2020 we must vote. Now he's not there, so I can't say he failed his promise.
The rest of you, let's hear from you.
Anybody else?
Yes, I'm in agreement.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Kathy,
Agree,
you have everybody's
agree.
contact information.
Agree.
Yes.
Agree,
Okay.
Florence Jackson.
I agree, Pa Freddy.
Okay. Kathy, you have everybody's contact?
Yes, I have posted my number, contact 929-240-2149. Please inbox me. And once I think we will set up either we do the PayPal or we set a GoFundMe.
Yeah, do a Zelle or something.
Yes, then we can take it from there. Honestly, I'm very happy of this forum today. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for coming. And it's great, your contribution and everything, and the new ideas or tasks that we have to embark on. It's all well noted by the board, and we will take it into consideration. One thing that I'll also like to encourage everybody that's attended this forum, please, when you get a flyer, kindly share. Kindly just click and share. Also, visit our YouTube page and subscribe. Our website also, when you are searching, just do the HTTPS and do the www.palmfire.org. I have put the link. Click and also register, because the more we register, the easy that we can disseminate the information. Very, very easy. Thank you once again. From my point of view, the EC, like you all said, I agree with you. They are just joking with us. We met with the deputy. We met with the Ghana card. Professor Atefua promised they're going to show up. They have no respect for us. Also, if we all agree, viewers, watchers, and listeners, I don't think they should come to the diaspora to solicit from us for you to give them your hard-earned money, but they refuse to hear our voice. We have to do something. And I think once again, we have to hit them where it hurts hard. Thank you once again.
And Kathy, before you go, I'm going back to Ghana 21st, but we have to find time to shoot a video together, a short video that will go on the social media and go viral, where we will summarize what happened today, let the world know that the EC and NIA didn't show up. We don't have to spend.
Very important. It's very, very important.
To let the world know that they don't respect us. They continue to play this ignore game. Their excuses are selfish to benefit their political masters. And we are coming after the 2024 Ghana elections. If we don't, nobody votes. Okay, so Kathy, we'll make time and I'll come by or whatever, and we'll shoot that video and send it out.
Thank you. Thank you
we'll
all
do it
very
in
much.
English, in Chi and Ga.
Yes. Thank
Count me in. Have a blessed day.
Bye-bye. Bye. My idea.